Hey, welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you are here with Latest with Laura and Beth, and now Nikki.
Hey everyone.
Nikki lives just down the road from Beth and me, and she came over for dinner, and she's got great ASEA testimonials, but we've got a lot of new people here. We're so glad you're here. So let's just start by explaining what's in this blue bottle. What is this stuff? It says it is a cell signaling supplement. It's really a misnomer. It's not a supplement. Supplement is something that your body doesn't naturally make, and you take it, and hopefully it helps you. This is a bioreplenishment. It is an exact replication of what your mitochondria are making every single moment of the day. You could go for about 3 weeks without food, perhaps, maybe no, I said that wrong. 3 weeks without food, 3 days without water, 3 minutes maybe without oxygen. You can't last 3 seconds without your redox signaling molecules that your mitochondria are making. And you're making less and less and less every decade that you age beyond the age of 20. And so this is just a bioreplenishment. It's just giving you back what belongs in your body. It is so fundamental in the healing process. It helps your cells communicate better. So it amplifies and clarifies signals between and within cells. They're just talking to each other better, makes them kind of wake up the inner doctor in your cells and make them go like, oh, there's a problem that we have to deal with. So it helps them detect, repair, replace damaged cells. It's going to boost your glutathione and superoxide dismutase in a big, big way. Those are really great antioxidants. So, we're just not afraid of germs anymore. And it turns on genes for your cardiac system, immune system, inflammatory system, digestive system, and hormone modulation. It says on the bottle that it's made from water and a tiny bit of salt. There's another ingredient that's not mentioned. It's energy. And this is not salt water, you guys. You cannot make this in your kitchen sink. We would not have 7 patents and thousands of trade secrets if this was just salt water. It starts off as salt water because that's what a lot of what your body is made out of. And we wanted the same building materials that your mitochondria get to play with. So we start with salt water. We had a medical atomic physicist figure out how do you break apart those salt water molecules, it's with energy, and rearrange those atoms and turn them into the molecules that your mitochondria are making. And I had the pleasure of Zooming with Mr. Tyler Norton this week, and he shared a funny story. So he co-founded our company with his dad, Vertus, and he said back in 2009, things weren't as refined as they are now. They're very innovative. They're constantly making more improvements. This is more concentrated than it used to be, by 30%. It doesn't take that long to make. It used to take many, many days. And in the very beginning, they could only make 1 liter at a time. Now it's a huge production facility. And Tyler shared that because they use energy to break apart these molecules and rearrange the atoms, in 2009, when you would have some, it might actually shock you. You might get zapped. Did I tell you that?
They said it
And so what Tyler would do is he'd stick his pinky in his glass of ASEA to take that initial shock because it was painful to to drink it. And yet people, even though they got zapped, even though it tasted like swimming pool water, they would drink it because it empowers your cells to work better and heal faster. Every single health challenge involves cells. And now I think I'm going to turn it over to my friend Nikki. I love Nikki. And Nikki is, oh, she's just so full of fun. And at headquarters, by the way, I get to go there this week along with bethpollari and a few other wonderful people. They refer to us as headquarters as Laura's group. Those are the ASEA angels. They think that my people are angelic, and they are. It's because of people like this. And they also say, oh, that's the fun group. And also what I love is they say Laura has the magical ones. The magical people are on Laura's team. And it's because of people like Nikki, and then there's Beth. They work with energy. They help people heal. I just say it's magical. And also, so Nikki, not only does she help people kind of get unstuck and overcome health challenges or emotional or mental challenges, she works with animals. Specifically, she's really, really gifted at working with horses. But anyway, why don't you talk?
Thank you, Laura.
Wait, check out her shirt.
Oh,
National champion. National champion. That's a competition that she was in recently that has enabled her to compete internationally pretty soon.
pretty soon.
Thanks to ASEA and also her hard work. But here you go.
Thank you, Laura.
You're
So
welcome.
my background is as a physical therapist from England. Not that you'd probably recognize that. Um, I did modern pentathlon years back, 25 years ago, and I haven't done anything for like 25 years. I found out about ASEA through my network chiropractic because I'd had a car accident a couple of years before and had, well, a year before, and I wasn't able to run. I wasn't able to do any training, just to keep fit at that point. Just a quick backstory. My husband passed away in 2020, so I was dealing for 3 years with an estate and moving out from where I was in Quincy, Mass, to move up to New Hampshire with my daughter on land to develop a homestead. So I was going through some like dark night of the soul, a lot of sort of deep stuff, and just trying to navigate my way in life again. And I asked the network chiropractic, what do you do for cell health? And he said, well, I just do ASEA, speak to Laura. 10 minutes later, Laura calls and sent me a couple of videos, and I watched the call. And the next day I signed up as an associate. It made so much sense. And then when I got it, oh my goodness, I didn't really think I had any major sort of health issues, but just little things like within 2 days, I didn't have to get up and pee at night, which was really awesome. But I'd had developed from the car accident, I developed a frozen shoulder. So it was really painfully restricted. And another thing that I'd been aiming to do and train for was to climb Mount Rainier and Mount Baker out west with my daughter. And I wasn't able to put a backpack on. This is February, and my shoulder was getting worse. And the trip was in June. So I was having to pay in full for this trip in February. And the ASEA came in February. 2 weeks later, my shoulder was fine. Which, if you know anything about frozen shoulders, that doesn't happen. It's at least 9 months from start to finish as a typical thing. I'd had really good chiropractic, I had good nutrition, but it's the cell signaling that was the big issue that I hadn't looked at. So that really got my attention. And then I was able to, 2 months, I started to train. And then I was riding my horse and she tripped and spun and skidded and then fell on the road. So I fell flat on my back and definitely said a few words. I had fallen a lot in the past, so I knew what it meant to me. If you fall off a horse, I just felt what it was. It was on the road, it was on the hard top from a big height. And I thought, I'm just done. But I crawled back, walked back, got to the chiropractor the next day, and he was so surprised how quickly my body responded. And within less than 3 weeks, this was like a 4-month injury at least. And I thought the trip was out for the mountaineering, and I was back climbing within 3 weeks, and getting back. Yeah, just phenomenal with that. And so we got out there my daughter and I, my 18-year-old daughter, we went out west, did a road trip, a real fun road trip. We summited Mount Baker and Mount Rainier, 10-day backpacking trip, a mountaineering trip, including like it was a 50-degree incline for like 1,000 feet. It's insane what we're able to do. And that's because of the ASEA. We took the ASEA with us, and I wasn't fit enough. I mean, you had to carry a 60-pound backpack. I had so many sort of setbacks, but I managed to summit the 14,400-foot Mount Rainier. It was insane what we were able to do. And then on the way back, though, on our road trip, we met, some of you will know, Jerry White, one of our great leaders in the ASEA company. And he was doing triathlon with his wife, Marcia. And so we stopped off to say hi, and then they were doing a track session. So that, okay, I just climbed down 5,000 foot the day before. And the other thing, I had really bad patellofemoral pain, knee pain, and my knees are fine climbing the mountain and coming down. So that's another big change with having the ASEA. But anyway, I joined in a track session. My legs wanted to run. This is the day after coming off the mountain. And I thought, I had this crazy idea. The next crazy idea was maybe I could do triathlon. So within 3 weeks, having not done any swim training for 25 years, very little running, and virtually no biking. I did a triathlon and was second, not even just in my age group, but overall. And I qualified for nationals, which is, I trained years back and I know how my body responded. And I was like getting, my speed endurance wasn't that good. I mean, I'd suddenly like get what you hit the wall, for want of a better word. And I was waiting for it to come and it wasn't. And I was just keeping on going, keeping on going. My speed endurance was so through the roof. I just really, I mean, I'd heard about it, and these athletes were having these experiences, but to know what I was like before, and to know how my body was recovering was unbelievable. And then I also twisted my ankle. I was doing some trail races, which I finished in the top 3 for all the races I did in for the women, not just for my age group. Again, my speed endurance was, I felt I was cheating almost because so I know I've got something really special in my tank that you don't have. I'm sorry, but I'm just going to go past you. But anyway, my training, I was going to be able to do consistent, really hard sessions time after time. But in one trail race, I did twist my ankle, and really badly. It'd been like a 6 to 8 week time out. 2 weeks later, I was back on the track, not even just running, but I was back on the track, and I was able to do nationals. So when I was talking to Laura last week about the ASEA, it really hit home. I wouldn't have gone that road trip with my daughter. She's now married. She's left home. I'm not going to have that opportunity again. If it wasn't for the ASEA, I wouldn't have done that. If it wasn't for the ASEA, I wouldn't have competed in the triathlon or gone to nationals. And my mum was visiting at the time, my 82-year-old mum. We did a road trip down to New Jersey, to Atlantic City, with my 82-year-old mum in my van. We slept in the van and had such an amazing time. And in that competition, I qualified for the World Championships, which is in Australia next year. But I wouldn't have done, that wouldn't have happened. And it started with the crazy thought, and then it manifested into that reality. And within 10 weeks, from no triathlon to competing to qualifying for the Worlds. And that's because of these molecules in your body. And I still can't believe what's happening with that, but it's true. But the point is, we all have these crazy ideas we think would be really great, but not possible, not necessarily, not thinking that it may be possible. But the ASEA, these molecules make that impossible thought possible. And each of you have something, that sort of that divine spark in you. And it's almost like I have a little camp stove, the gas stoves, the lights, that divine spark. It's like that gives you that divine spark, and then the gas, your whole light opens up, and it feels like it does that for you. So I just invite you to really ask yourself, what is that sort of crazy, sort of semi-impossible thought you have that you'd love to manifest, and put your intention towards that. Because what I've done is nothing. We can all, not most of you probably don't want to do triathlon. I mean, that's yeah, but you all have something in you that you're wanting to manifest. So question for you is, I've got written down a couple of things. What if I go along with this crazy idea? But the biggest question is, what if I don't? And I could have said no to like the chiropractic, well, I'm not interested. I could have said no to Laura. I could have, not even gone along with the idea of going along with the trip, but because the ASEA, it changes your mind, gives you a mind shift as well. Because I was like almost really bowing out of society at that point in time, and it's just that whole community that brings you back, and it turns your mind back on. So those impossible things do become possible. So when you ask yourself, what if I don't do this? That's you just really pay attention to what you're saying no to, and then having that choice, and that awareness does bring that choice, which brings you that freedom. And I'd like to invite all of you you all have this something amazing in us that our sparkle that wants to be shown. So invite you all to do that. Animal stories. So if I'm feeling off a little bit, I call Laura. I say, Laura, if I'm not feeling very nice, Laura, give me an animal story. So I have a few. I had it's the first one. We have a homestead. We have horses. We have geese and ducks and guinea hens and dogs and ferrets and other animals. A cat. Um, but when I was seeing the horses, I feel like a really bad horse mum now, because I went up at night and it was dark and I didn't see what was going on. I had a little headlight, and the horses are fine. They're moving. Their legs are fine. I count their legs, their limbs, and everything else, and they're eating well. But then Kai, my daughter, a couple of days later, she said, "Mum, look at the puzzles. The one horse's mouth and the lower lip. She had a like it's almost like it's very fleshy. It's almost like 2 inches deep and 1 inch wide. She had a cut, a slice through there, and it's really infected. Her whole lip was swollen up, and it stank. It was just like must have been there for at least a couple of days, but you couldn't see it from the outside, particularly till it swelled up. And I put the ASEA, the gel in, the Renew 28. 3 days later, it was perfectly healed. It was beautiful. That's from really a big infection. And people had, I mean, yeah, I can't say about calling a vet, but I mean, you have to be smart. You have to monitor it and check that it's doing well. But that could have been a course of antibiotics for her that she didn't need to have. So that was one great thing. And then you had a goose and their big, the webbing on their feet in between. She had a big hole through her foot. I think I don't know what she'd trodden on. But put some gel on with the Renew 28 and wrapped up in a bag. 3 days later, it was gone. And I was looking at the geese today, and I couldn't even see any mark of where it was. And that was, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking centimeters, not inches, but at least quarter of an inch. So that's the goosefoot story. What else? The goats. So I give the goats, they have that prophylactically if there's anything going on. It's so great to have this as a toolkit. And so that one of them had a cough recently, so I give them some of that, and it's cleared up very, very quickly. And my little colt, he's just coming up to, he's like a year and a half. He's getting pretty rambunctious now, but he had a whole lot of vaccines before I had him. He's a 6-month-old. And so he had some swollen legs and some issues going on. So I'd give him a syringe. The 2 mil? Yeah, 2 mil syringe, 2 ounces is the cup size, the size of the cup, 2 ounce syringe, and put it in his mouth. And the funniest game for him was to crunch on the syringe. So I'd call my daughter who worked at running, say, "Kai, can you get some more syringes, please?" But then I got the hang of giving it to him properly. And then he had a cut hock. Again, that got pretty infected. I was away at the time. And when he got back, but very quickly that cleared up, and gave him some of the ASEA again, and that cleared right up. And the dogs love it. The one dog who needs it more, he's older, and he was getting pretty just stiff in his hind legs, and he's done so fabulously since then. And I give him the syringe. He's a hound. He's got the bigger jowls, so it'll like dribble out a little bit, but it doesn't get wasted because I have a little shepherd pup. Well, she's a big shepherd pup. She gets so excited about the ASEA. And she, any little splash that comes out, and she even like sticks a tongue in his jowls. I want to get that stuff. And so she gets very excited, and so there's nothing wasted there at all. I think the other story.
Those are awesome stories. I'm looking at the little chat thing. Thank you for your comments.
Okay.
I can share another animal story. So a lot of you have seen my little dog, Callie, and she had a cough last week, and my husband, he still thinks of the traditional Western treatment, sort of. He's just conditioned that way. And he's like, "Oh, you have to take her to the vet. You know, he's so worried about her." I'm like, "No, we're good. Here, I had some ASEA. Hasn't coughed since." Not that we can make any claims that this is a cure or medical treatment. It just empowers your cells to work better, and every health challenge involves cells. And animals don't know anything about placebos. And one of my friends just texted me that she likes my hair tonight. Guess what? My hair product is Renew 28, which is the topical version of this. It's really a pain to, like, you put it in and it gets so stiff, but once you get the comb through, it holds. So thank you, Alex. And I guess we can stop recording and take any questions that anybody has.